Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm back again with the tier list. However, this one, I'm not going to be ranking the Premier League off where they're going to finish. I'm going to be ranking them off their transfer window. It is not finished yet. Today's the last day of the deadline day. But there has been some amazing signings this season. I don't know why I've done that. But anyway, it's looking hella juicy. Let's get straight into this. So, first up, Bournemouth. Honestly, Bournemouth, they've brought in Diakite, whatever his name is, and Petrovic, and some other players. I know Adley's a baller, but they have lost major people. Like they've lost Sabanye, one of the best defenders in the league. Same as Huijsen. Kirkhead's amazing. Utare's a baller as well. So because of those sales, bro, and they haven't really brought a better back line. Ooh, I'm gonna put it mini. They could have done way better with the money they got. Overall, they got 200 mil back, and they only spent like less than 100 mil. So that's my prediction. Not my prediction. That's my ranking of what happened that season. All right, next up, Arsenal Football Club. So they had to bring in a new striker. They succeeded in that. They had to bring in a new left winger. They succeeded in that with Eze. A new midfielder. They succeeded in that with Zubimendi. However, the depth, bro, the depth is good, but the left back spot. If they sign the guy from what's his face, Leverkusen, S tier. Oh no, I actually think looking at it now, I think that is already an S tier transfer window. The last this is posted right after the game yesterday against Liverpool. Personally, it was a good game for both of them. However, what a strike from Szoboszlai. Oof. Oh my days, that was a beauty strike from Szoboszlai. Anyway, next up is Aston Villa. Oh shit. Yeah, Aston Villa's next up. Yeah, I'll be real with you. I'll be real. Come on now. They only performed last season because, I'll be honest with you, Rashford and Asensio. They had rumours of bringing Asensio and they went Fenerbahce, and other than that they've done nothing. As well as there's links of Martinez goes. I don't know if he goes or not. He's linked to go to Man United, but if he does go, F tier. Bizot cannot be playing in the Premier League, and if they do sign a backup keeper, I saw a guy who plays in the Belgium league. Come on, you can't be signing a Belgian goalkeeper. Well, Belgian league, unless you'll sign a future Thibaut Courtois, and that's in Chelsea's squad. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I give them an F. Alright, next up is Brentford. The sale of Mbeumo, Christian Norgo, and Flecken. For the money, Norgo, their captain, for around 10 million, and Flecken, a goalkeeper that was amazing last season, also gone for 10 million, is awful. Awful. However, Bryan Mbeumo, 75 million, that's a big chunk of change. And also there's links of Wissa upset the club, wanting to leave. He'll probably go to Newcastle later today, but this is obviously recorded before that, so I don't know. Anyway, Utara, oh my god, him against Aston Villa, he was a gem. I didn't watch the last game, but oh my days, he was a gem against Aston Villa. Kelleher, a beautiful signing for them. Milambo. Oh, I know that guy. He's a good boy for the future. Pause on that. And then Coyote, they secured that transfer. He's also a baller. Full manager days, you know that. Anyway, if they've got links to Bier, I don't think that deal should take place. I don't see Bier as a good suit for Brentford, but Brentford knows what they're doing because they're actually a well-suited club. However, their manager situation. No, I can't get around Keith Andrews. So for that, also I forgot to add the addition to Jordan Henderson. To replace your captain with Jordan Henderson, that's not an F tier. Henderson's like go, bro. Okay, now let's go on to Brighton. Brighton, I don't know what to say about the club. They sadly did beat us yesterday. However, their transfer window, it's not looking good. They have sold João Pedro for 63 million, Estepinian for 17, and Aderinga for 24. However, they've also, what's his name again? Their midfielder, Matt O'Reilly. I think they sold O'Reilly. Yeah, him leaving the squad is horrible. They need to spend this money quick, honestly. As a club, they got Postcagli. He was amazing for PSV last season. Yeah, that was lovely for them. Let me have a little look. As it goes for transfer window, I feel like I can't put them F because they kept Baleba. Baleba's a massive player for them, so I feel like that's good for them in that half. And also that Kostuluas, he's a good football player. He's 18 years old, but with a hefty price of 35 million. But I believe that they can make it work. So another E tier. So I feel like it's not as good as these two. They had one of the worst transfer windows, but for Brighton it weren't horrible. Actually, yeah, I'm putting them F tier. They could have done way better than what they've done. Okay, next up is Burnley. They have secured Dubravka. Pretty sure he was on loan from Newcastle. That's an amazing signing for them. They have also, let me have a little look. They've got Carl Walker. Come on, Carl Walker is a baller. How could you be mad at Carl Walker? He is their capitano of a cappuccino. Also the sale of James Trafford and the loss of Brownhill because he went out for free. Obviously, did not renew his contract. I'm shocked no one's actually picked him up because he's actually a fantastic player. They've also gone through the signings of Ukachua. He's a baller. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Ugu Chukwu. I don't know, bro. Let's put a hold on that. He was actually a baller, but he's playing for the wrong clubs. Honestly, the signing of Broha, injury after injury, bro. He had so much potential. Hartman, he's just outsourcing left back. They've honestly made some good business. Yeah, I feel like this is good for them. They've also brought in Marcus Edwards. That's an amazing signing. They've also brought in Anthony from Bournemouth. Obviously, Carl Walker. Twanzebe joined. They made a lot of signings, but is it signings to step in the Premier League? An aging Carl Walker, good for the dressing room. Other than that, to be fair, they have brought in to stay up this season. I don't know. I'll put them E. There's so much in E, but don't worry. Soon there's gonna be some better players, better teams. So I say. Chelsea squad, bro. Next, as I was about to say, next up is Chelsea, but their squad is honestly massive. The addition of João Pedro, Estevao, Steven, Jamie Gittins, Garnacho, Hato, and a bunch more like Delap. Ow, it's looking spicy. However, the sales are even better. The sales are going crazy. The sales of Noni Madueke for 56 million, Christopher Nkunku for 37, Joao Felix for 30, Petrovic for 28, and Ugachu, you know what I'm talking about, for 28 as well. Honestly. Wait, wait, what? Oh no, don't worry. They've also been linked to selling Raheem Sterling. They've also brought in Isugu. The return of Ben Chilwell, return of Diassi. The squad is looking big. Oh my days! I don't know how they are probably one of the best transfers in the thing, but I'm only going to put 3 in S tier, 3 clubs in S tier, and they're just about missing out for me, honestly. Alright, next up is Crystal Palace. Honestly, Crystal Palace, their signings have been nothing but woke disappointment. The sale of Eze for 70 million, and they've only brought in Walter Benitez for free, Sosa from Ajax, and Pino, a right winger from Villarreal. And also they've also been linked of selling Guehi and signing over Ake or Akanji, which I think it's a fair trade. If they have to sign one of them and probably another centre back, because no one's going to fulfil Guehi's boots. So it depends how much they get for Guehi, and they've also been linked to the likes of Sancho, which I think is amazing starting for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are known for like English wingers going crazy. Not English wingers, but you know what I mean. Like Zaha, Elise, Eze, and many more. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I'm trying to think about what position I should give him. I feel like it's pretty low down. Yeah, I feel like it's F tier. If they make the signings of, you know, uh, Akanji or Ake and like Sancho, that's a D. That's a D. If they sell Akanji and not Akanji, Guehi and don't do anything with it, then that's an F tier. So right now, yeah, you know, I'm gonna put him E. Up Bournemouth only because actually no, I'll swap Bournemouth from thingy. Only because Crystal Palace have kept Guehi for now, but if they sell him and they don't make any replacements, I go an F. But if they do good with that money and bring in like a Kanji, Ake, Sancho, or any type of winger and like defender, that's easily D tier. Everton Football Club. Oh my days! What a window for them. Might I say? The start of the season, every club was after Tyler Dibbling, and you wouldn't believe who snatched them up. Everton snatched them up for 40 million. There was links of him going to Newcastle for like 100 million. Yeah, that's amazing from the club. Anyway, Barry, brought in from Villarreal for 30 million. Drewsbury Hall from Chelsea for 28 million, which I think is probably the best transfers they've done. Their loan of Jack Grealish, he was so good the other week. He was so good. And also, the sale of Calvert-Lewin for free to Leeds, Neil Maupay for 4 million, Doucouré for free, Holgate for free. There's so many players out there for free, but the squad they've got right now from the signings they've made is amazing. They've also brought in a young stuff from Bayern Munich. Loads of people. They've brought in Tavares for depth. Yeah, I'm not upset with this. Alcaraz, he was on loan last season. I'm pretty sure they sealed the deal for 14 million. 15 million, sorry. Yeah, I feel like that's high up. That's a B tier, especially for Everton. For Everton years, they won't sign any players, and actually looking good this season. And I stand by where I put them in the predictions. If you want to watch that video, it is probably in the description right now, or you can look on my channel. Make sure while you're down there, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know if I post. Like the video, and do comment down anything you want me to do with FC 26. That's coming out soon, and I have pre-ordered it. So if you see anything with that, do let me know down below. I'm looking at right now. This might be one of the worst transfer windows in a while. They've brought Lecomte for, I assume, backup. They sold one of the best attacking midfielders, Pereira. Well, it was better than the best a couple of seasons ago. And yet, their squad's good. Their squad is good, but is it good enough for Premier League? Yeah, it is better for Premier League. I don't know what it's about. They have kept Robinson. They've kept many players that are linked to go away. Muniz they've kept. They've kept a lot of players. They've got a hidden gem squad. Their squad's a hidden gem. But do I think this squad's gonna save them? It is gonna keep them in the Premier League, but I don't know for how long. I don't think this is obviously an F tier. They brought no one in. However, they've kept their whole team. They haven't sold anyone except from their Pereira, who I think is a vital player for their squad. I'll put them in. It's a transfer. It's about who they keep and who they sell. Yeah, I'll put them right above Brighton. Yeah, I think that's best for what it looks like right now. That was actually a hard choice for Fulham. Their team is not looking good for this season. Anyway, let's move on to Leeds United. Sean Longstaff for 13 million, which I think is amazing. Premier League player, played for Newcastle, not out and out every week, but he played for Newcastle. Stash, how do you say his name? I think he's a hidden gem. Okafor, I've loved Okafor for ages. Uh, yeah, there's Bijol and centre back. They've also brought in Perry, another goalkeeper. Cause everybody at Leeds, I dislike in Meslier. Yeah, they've also sold a couple of players. They've loaned people out. They've also let go Christensen, which I think Christensen's a baller, especially when he was on loan last season at Roma. I think it was. Anyway, this is not. They've also sorry, I forgot to add. They've also brought in Calvert-Lewin, which I think is the right signing. Nemecha, he's alright. Um, hmm. They've also brought in James Justin. Bornau, he's a good centre back. So overall, I think it's actually a good transfer window. It's not as good as I thought. Daniel Farke, I feel like is the main problem. If they sack Daniel Farke, however you say his name, and they appoint a better manager, then this club is worthy of staying in the Premier League. So I'm going to put the signings D tier. Next up is Liverpool. I cannot bear this little team no more. This team is looking so good, especially after the news last night. Oh my days. They have this. Let me go through who they sold this season. This season, they have sold Trent Alexander-Arnold for 10 million. Obviously, they'd have gone for free, but they wanted him early because of the Club World Cup. Anyway, Luis Diaz for 70 million. Darwin Núñez for 53 million. Konsa for 35 million. Ben Doak for 23 million. That's amazing business for them. As well as that, they've also brought in Leone, a lovely backup centre back for to replace Konsa. Milos Kerkez, left back. I'm literally trying to make this, and there's tears going down my leg. There's tears going down my leg. Tears coming from my eyes. This season's gonna be scary. Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen for 40 million. Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt for 95 million. And this Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen from 125 million. You know what makes this worse? Isak from Newcastle. I'm pretty sure 130 million. Premier League transfer world record. This Liverpool team is looking scary. If this team gels, what a team we have here. Arne Slot won the Premier League on his first season. Come on. This team is looking too good. The only thing that's scary is if they also bring in Guehi from Crystal Palace. This is not looking good. This just makes me cry. Looking at all the rival teams and what they've brought in is scary. Benjamin Sesko, 76 million. Brian Mbeumo, 75 million. Cunha, 74 million. Links of Emi Martinez joining Man United after the howler from Onana. If you guys watched that against Grimsby Town, yeah, doing howlers like that, he had a rotter, and they started buying there against Burnley, scraped the win from a Bruno Fernandes last minute. It's making me cry looking at this. However, I don't think they brought in who they wanted to bring. The sale of Garnacho. There's links of why am I forgetting his name? No, that's actually crazy. You couldn't check his name. The links of Kobe Mainoo leaving Man United. It's not going to happen because Almiron has blocked him from leaving the club, even though the Mainoo wants to leave because of his development is crazy. I just can't see it through. How this team is so bad. They've also lost a lot of players for free. They've lost Lindelof, who's I'm pretty sure he joined Aston Villa. I can't remember what I saw. Christian Eriksen left or for free. Marcus Rashford left on loan. There's so many players that have just gone. If they brought in Baleba, this would be the best transfer. Nah, not as good as Liverpool. However, there's only three clubs that could be in S tier, and I don't know how this team. I feel like this team's going to gel well, but they didn't make the signings that they had to make after that. If they bring in like Baleba or like someone in midfield or a new defense, I don't know they have to do it, but they could just like sell Martinez, who's like crazy injury prone, and bring in someone more like dependent, like they can value on. So yeah, I'll give them an A tier. That means only one club can fit in that S tier. Next up is Man City, which I think they've had an amazing window for who they lost. However, I think it wasn't their best they could have done. Rangers for 55 million. What a signing he has been. Cherki on the other hand, he's now injured for 2 months, which is sad to see. However, I think he's a baller, especially for how much we brought him for 36 million. Next up is Rai Al Nuri, which I think is probably one of the best signings this season. Then James Trafford, which I think, yeah, James Trafford, I don't think he was the right signing for us, especially those mistakes he's been making. Even though he's had good games, he's been making crucial mistakes. And the sale of Victor Reis on loan, Jack Grealish on loan, James McAtee for 25 million, which I think is good, especially if we didn't play him. I think he's just gonna be like Cole Palmer, honestly. We've got De Bruyne leaving on a free. If we bring in Donnarumma, man. If Man City bring in Donnarumma, this is easy S tier. All we need to do this season is bring in Donnarumma and sign a right back. If when we got linked to Livramento, I was creaming everywhere. That's exactly a signing we need to make as the biggest club in the world. However, we did not make those signings. That's why I'm going to put Man City in A tier. Yeah, you lot going to put them S tier. Well, I'm going to show you a lot who are going to put S tier at the end. It's going to be someone in A tier, by the way. I'm not entirely sure to put an S tier. This might actually be the worst window for Newcastle. Rejection everywhere. The only thing they've got from this is, in my opinion, is Elanga. Walt made, I don't know how to pronounce his name, for 85 million. Might be one of the worst deals I've ever seen. He is not worth that much. He is not worth that much. Anyway, as well as that, Elanga for 61 million, Jacob Ramsey for 45 million. Sorry, Jacob Ramsey for 45 million. Sorry, Theo for 35, which I think is a steal. He's actually amazing. Ramsdale on loan, they're getting relegated. Then the sales of Longstaff, Lloyd Kelly permanently, the sale of Callum Wilson, which I think is awful. Honestly, Callum Wilson even on a free after what happened. Well, they didn't know that was going to happen anyway. That's the worst thing they could have done. And also the sale of Isak. Yeah. For a club that has that level in the Champions League, not having that pull factor for players, I think they have made signings unlike the other clubs that have made like little signings, but the signings aren't right. It's making me mad. Newcastle, bro, you need to lock in with your signings, or you're going down in my prediction. Sorry, before I start this, I would just like to say I apologise for my predictions. Aston Villa are not finishing where I said they're going to finish. They're not finishing sixth. They're finishing mid-table. Them this season have been horrible. If they bring in anyone, then they can actually turn it around. But right now, it's not their season. I'll be dead honest with you. Anyway, let's go straight into my vision of the what's called Nottingham Forest arrivals and departures. That was a bit. I was like a posh wanker, didn't I? Anyway, let's rank this on the tier list. I'm trying to think now. The signings they've made with the money they had is amazing. I just need to remind you, they're playing in the Europa League next season, and they brought in Amari Hutchinson, Ndoye, Cullum Wendo. He's a baller. He's a baller. I know my stuff. Douglas Luiz, and James McAtee. And I'm sure they've also brought in other players. They've brought in Igor Jesus, which, Weezer Stone. They've also brought in Savona. They brought in a couple of players. Yeah, they brought a couple of players. Good backup. They've literally just thought about a Champions League, the Europa League, which I think is amazing from them, especially for a club like Nottingham Forest and other clubs like Crystal Palace, who were meant to be in the Europa League, don't do that. So it just shows the level of the club. However, the sales of Elanga for 61 million is actually crazy. I can't remember how much they brought Thingy for, but they brought him for, sorry. But the sale of 61 million for them is amazing. Danilo for 23. I'm pretty sure they signed him for 30 million when the massive signings came along. 12 million for Sosa, and a Mohamed for 10 million. He's a young boy. Anyway, I feel like this is a B tier. They've brought in who they need to bring in. They've not improved, but they've actually built on where they've sold Elanga. Not built, but they've replaced him decently well and for cheaper. So I feel like that's a B tier for me. Next up is the Spurs. Tottenham Hotspur. The announcement of Xavi Simons blew my mind. The rejection of all those players. I thought they were finished, but then they randomly brought Xavi Simons out the bag for 65 million, as well as they've also brought in Mohamed Kudus for 63, Mateus Tell. Not gonna say his name again after what happened in the penalty shootout, for 35. Paulinho for 5 mil loan fee, and Danso on a permanent. However, they have sold their golden man, Human Son, for 22 million, and Højbjerg 13 million. They've also shipped the people for loan, as Mikey Moore and Vuskovic. He was amazing in the pre-season, and Reguilon for free. Oh shit, didn't see that. Yeah. Solomon is back from that amazing season from Leeds. Oh, fuck. Yeah, they've kept the whole team. They've brought in the best manager in the league, in my opinion, Thomas Frank. He's an amazing manager. They've got rid of Ange, which I think he was awful, but you know how the Spurs fans are, they're glazing because he won them a trophy. Yeah, I think I'll give him a high and a B tier. That's right for me. It's actually crazy to see on how at the start the teams are all F tier, Arsenal and S tier, all in F like Fulham, Brighton, all that stuff, all in the bottom half, all down there. But now look at it now. I told you have to watch out. Anyway, next up is Sunderland. They have brought in Diarra, which is an African player, and Angura, also an African player. Lafi, permanent on his loan. He is not African player, he's French. Talibi, I'm pretty sure he's Moroccan. And Sadiki, which I don't know where he's from, he's African though. So, joining the AFCON, they're fucked. I'll be honest, they're fucked. They brought in Gui for on loan from Chelsea. Chelsea won him back. Harrison Jones, he's been promoted. So yeah, I forgot someone crazy. Granit Xhaka for 50 million. Their Capitano. What a signing, honestly. Mukiele from PSG. They've also brought in Ronaldo, Mazuku. Yeah, there's a bunch of amazing players that I think they've actually built well for the next season. I'm a bit confused on the goalkeeper situation, and I've also heard this linked to a new striker. I've heard the striker name. I've been behind back doors. They've been linked to Brodbury. We got signs of Openda, that guy from Ukraine, where his name is, the striker used to play for Girona. There was links to that, but they said it to be the best signing they were ever going to make, and it was a bit of a letdown if it goes through. However, I think it's an amazing season from them, signing season, whatever it's called for them, especially for the club they are. I'm going to put them end of B tier only because when AFCON comes around, bro, they're finished. I'll be dead ass. Their whole team they brought in, they're not all African, but one, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot. So it's not looking good for them. Oh no, 7. And there's also, I'm pretty sure there's more links to them adding more players to the squad. Yeah. And they've also had a good season so far. Besides that result against Burnley. Yeah, I feel like this is... Oh, I forgot to add also the signing of the sale of Joe Bellingham for 30 million. Amazing business there. Yeah. B tier. I don't know. I should probably stop waffling about it now, but yeah. Next up is the West Ham United. You know what? At the start, I was shitting for West Ham United. They were looking horrible. 3-0 against Sunderland. They lost to... Who did they lose to? I'm pretty sure it was Brentford. I can't remember who they played. But anyway, that was horrible for them. But the signings they brought in, Mateus Fernandes from Southampton for 44 million. Todibo for 40 million from Nice, permanent deal from his loan. Diouf for 22 million. I actually signed him in my Football Manager save ages ago, like in one of my old ones. Hermansen, good signing. I feel like Magassi, good signing. But however, they've sold Mohamed Kudus, which I think is awful. Well, good deal for them for the money, but as a club, I wasn't sure about that. And then they've also brought in Callum Wilson. They've also brought in Walker Peters, which is an amazing signing. Yeah. But however, they have sold a couple of players. They've kept Rodriguez. He's not good enough for the Premier League. Come on now. And also, there's links of Paqueta leaving, which I think have fallen through, especially with celebration yesterday. Him kissing La Badge. So I'm going to put that in DT, you know. It's not an amazing season for them. I'll show you that. Fuck. I need to move Wolves there. But yeah, let me go on to Wolves now. You know, Wolverhampton, I might as well just start on who they've sold. They've sold Mateus Cunha for 74 million. Right Nuri for 36 million. Fabio Silva for 22 million. Gonzalo Guedes for 4 million. And they've also shipped off Tommy Doyle on loan to Birmingham. Who have they brought in? Who have they brought in, you ask? They've made it permanent on Strand Larsen. I'm pretty sure it's already permanent, but Strand Larsen has joined the club. He wants to go to Newcastle, however. Fer Lopez for 23 million. Tredsey, I think his name is, for 22 million loan to buy. Arais for 17 million. I can't pronounce his names, bro. For 12 million. They've also brought in Mateus Main. No, he's from the academy. They've also brought in Wolfie. Yeah. This is the money they had. Come on now, it's an F tier. Let's be real, it's an F tier. They had 130 million to spend, and they've just brought in a bunch of nobodies, no big character to join the club. I'm pretty sure they also sold one of their centre backs to join Arsenal. No, let me have a little look. Apparently not. But yeah, this is horrible for them. As a club, they could have done way better than that. So I'm going to put them in F tier. However, I did say that there's going to be 3 in the S tier categories. And looking over it now, as a club, not. Make sure that's not the actual club themselves, but the signings they've made are crazy. Manchester United have made some amazing signings this season. Let's see if it will gel together and they can actually do something in the league, not just like bottle. Manchester City is close for me to put them in S tier. If they sign Donnarumma, However, I do think we need a right back in this club, and we're still getting battered by Brighton and Spurs. So I'm not happy with that. However, this list, I might make a few changes. I might put West Ham like this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh, why is Brentford so high? Yeah, I like this. This is my prediction. Not my prediction. This is my ranking of the transfer window before the final day. This was made in the morning of the Monday. So if you do agree with this, do let me know. And also, while you're here, don't bully me for the start of the season. I made my predictions for the Premier League, and let's say I've had some howlers. I put Aston Villa in the top half. I put many clubs down there. So many clubs down there. I put, what club was it? I'm trying to think what club I put very low. Um. Oh yeah, I put Bournemouth like very low. I also put Brentford very high because I was like, oh, you know what? I have faith in Keith Andrews, but looking at it now, he's basically counter-attack football. If they play that the whole season against bigger clubs, I don't know if it worked. It worked. The offsides, if they scored a couple goals, but offside, I'm just not waffling anyway. I'm waffling too much. If you want to hear me waffle, do check out my Twitch. Please from the one. I'm probably live streaming as you see this, so do check that out. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I do post. See, I'm waffling too much. Anyway, peace.